Please excuse the blanket, but the radiator is not working in this room and I am cold, so I've got my best blanket just for you. Hi everyone, it's Jenny and welcome back to my channel. Coldness aside, are you well? I'm not too shabby. I have more gin left. Come, wait. There we go. Gin and blanket, what more could you want in life? And books? All as well. So, I thought it was time to do PhD update because anyone who's been following along would know. Why am I talking like that? Sorry, anyone would know that I have taken a break. So I started back in January, sort of. Middle of January, late January, whatever you want to call it. And I feel very behind already. So I thought, because I have a kind of reading list at the moment, I would make myself more accountable and make a kind of... The book's just moved. A kind of TBR, and that will hopefully help me get my backside in gear and do some work. So I was going to look at pubs and Victorian literature, and I still kind of am, but I need to narrow it down because it's a massive subject, and I've so far got down to I want to look at class and alcohol, which is interesting, but it means it won't just be about pubs because obviously upper class people in Victorian society would not have really frequented pubs. They would drink at home. And that's interesting in itself because obviously you have the different social perceptions that it's fine to get drunk at home on claret, but it's not fine to get drunk in the pub on gin. So I want to look at that. I'm interested in whether or not alcohol affects your social mobility and also about the effects on children, but that in itself is still quite broad. So I'm basically just going to read a bunch of books and hope to find some clarity and ideas from that. So far I have reread Mirror of Casterbridge by Thomas Hardy, which was wonderful, and I forgot how much drama is in that book. Oh my goodness. If you like drama, Hardy is your man. That book is your book, my friend. But it is interesting because the protagonist, Michael, does something bad as a result of being drunk and then takes a pledge of temperance for 20 years to be sober, and it's interesting how his life changes and how it changes after 20 years are up, and I'm definitely going to rush out about that. But let me show you the other books that I need to read. So I'm currently looking and rereading Anne Bronte's The Ten at Waffle Hall because again there is an alcoholic character in here in the upper class, which I think will definitely be something I would like to write about. Also, coincidentally, it is the bicentenary year of Anne Bronte this year, so it's really nice to revisit this novel. I'm enjoying it more the second time over, and there's lots about gambling in here as well as alcohol addiction, so this I think has a lot to potentially write about. Then I have been recommended by my supervisor to read Janet's Repentance, which is, I didn't know this, Caesar Clerical Life is literally like 3 novellas whacked together by Eliot. It's her first book. I thought it was a novel. It's not that really. I don't know how connected the stories are, but Janet's Repentance is the third one, and it's about a middle class woman who becomes a drunkard, I think, and I presume she gets redeemed, or maybe she doesn't get redeemed, but she repents. That's all I know. So I'm going to read that. And then I've been told or recommended by the wonderful Katie from Books and Things to look at Dr. Thorne by Anthony Trollope because this has apparently, again, a middle class character who is an alcoholic. But I know nothing apart from this is the third in the Palaces series and I've only read the 5th one, so I'm just going to read this completely out of order, but that's fine. And then a book that, again, if you've been following me for a while, you will know has been haunting me, which is Gissing's The Netherworld. The thing is about Gissing, he's so depressing. I'm never really in the mood for it, you know? Like, I have depression, and I just find this hard because I read one of his other novels, I wrote about it in my dissertation, but this is much bleaker right from the beginning. Like the first sentence. Wait, I'm gonna read it for you. Let me read it. Oh, wait, past the introduction, past the notes and the chronology, past the contents. Okay, so the first sentence, guys, to give you an idea of his writing. It's, in the troubled twilight of a March evening 10 years ago, an old man whose equipment and bearing suggested that he was fresh from travel walked slowly across Clerkenwell Green and by the graveyard of St James's Church stood for a moment looking about him. And that doesn't sound too bad, but in the troubled twilight, you just know it's going to be bleak, okay? And it's like a foreboding already. So I will read this, but I'm going to start again for the 3rd time because as you can see I only got 76 pages in. And, oh, I love this bookmark. My mum gave this to me before I went to university. It says, the true university of these days is a collection of books. And it's one of my favourite, it's like my academic bookmark. So, yeah, I'm going to start that again. So, whoa, what a treat. I know it's a good book. I know it will be a good book. I know it will be incredibly useful because it looks at the lower classes and poverty. But I also know it's might be a bit of a struggle. I think I'm just going to have to push myself to read it in a few days. If I spread it over a week, I'll just never want to get to it. But a book I definitely am excited to reread is Mary Barton by Elizabeth Gaskell, which is her first novel, and also the book that I read first by her, which is quite nice. And oh, excuse me, the gin. And I'm so sorry. And if you see my goals video where I'm not in a blanket, because I didn't feel so cold then, strangely, I said that I wanted to read and reread all of Gaskell. So this is a book I would have wanted to read anyway, but it has a quite influential pub scene that is not, I don't want to say it's a catalyst, but a decision is made that has big consequences for one of the main characters and for the rest of the book, really. So I don't know if I will write about this one, but I'm interested in it. I basically just want an excuse to write about Gaskell because I flipping love her, and if I can get her into a PhD, I'll be so happy. So there's her, then a book that is quite intimidating just because of its size that I've always wanted to read. I say always, I wasn't like 5 when I wanted to read this, but it's Vanity Fair by William Makepeace Thackeray, and I've wanted to read this for a while because I read the opening of it for my novel course in my Masters and thought that's blooming good, but I had, you know, many other long novels to read, so I didn't have time to read this. And this has a lot about army drinking, and I think about quite explicit references the difference between the alcohol that you drink and what is socially acceptable and what isn't socially acceptable, and how people of a higher class who drink gin are perceived as being disgraceful. So even though it's a real chunker, wow, I am excited to read this. I definitely think a lot of these books I will part read them, part listen to them on audiobook, because I just didn't have time to, you know, physically read all of this. It's quite small print. Can you see that? Yeah. But I'm excited to read this, and also I said I wanted to read longer books, so you know, my PhD is helping me get there with that. And speaking of longer books, this is Martin Chuzzlewit. By the way, if any of you are wondering, this is a book cover. It's a William Morris, like, protector. This is not the actual cover, but it's hard to get in and out, so I'm not going to take it out. But this is Martin Chuzzlewit by Charles Dickens, and I want to read this because it has a female alcoholic called Sarah Gamp, because I would quite like to do a chapter on female alcoholics, because I think that isn't written about much. You always think about a man. Like, I think if I said to you, think of an alcoholic, you'd probably think of a man or a woman. Maybe that's presumptuous. Maybe you're like, Jenny, it's 2020. Equality, man, but I think of a woman too. I don't know. Well, that was a weird thing to say. I didn't know where that was going. But I want to read this, and it's also Dickens I've never read, and obviously I want to eventually read all of Dickens, so we get to take another one off. And yeah, I don't know anything about this book. I think that's the case of most of these things. I just know if there's alcoholism, I'm there. So yeah, I know there's a pub in it. But it's different now, because I'm not focusing on the pub specifically. Like, I don't know if I would write about the building in the same way, because I'm not as interested in that. I'm interested in the class and the people that are in the pub. So it will be quite difficult to get myself out of that mindset and to not annotate. I definitely over-annotate my work, 100%. And I write things I'm just not going to use because that's not actually what I'm focusing on, so I need to get better at that. And then last but not least, the other book that's been haunting me, and I put my TBR an embarrassing amount of times, just like Gissing, but I'm going to read soon, guys. It's Victorian Pubs by Mark Girard, I presume, and this is a book I've dipped in and out of. I've read chapters and excerpts, but not the whole thing, and it's just kind of, I guess it says more architectural, but also just like a history, but it's got nice pictures, look. Woo, that's exciting. It's not all writing. Whiz through it. Well, I say that. But this is a book that I think will have lots of good grounding, like foundation information. Ooh. So, there we go. I mean, that's quite a lot to be getting on with, really, that I should have already got on with. But I'm going to get on with it now. I'm telling you, I can be held accountable by all of you. Yeah, it's all just a bit it's a bit overwhelming, and I have struggled with being distant from university and just, you know, having a job at the same time and all of that. Like, it's hard, and I found it hard to get back into it, but I do want to do it. It's just whether or not I can work quickly enough, because I'm not a fast worker. I write slowly, all those things, but I do want to do it. Basically, I meant to have my upgrade in June, which is when I have to present my work and have a chapter written. But if I'm not ready by June, I can do it September, but I absolutely have to do it by September. You have to have done your upgrade by 20 months, and that will be my 20-month period. So that's a bit scary, because June just feels incredibly close, and I do not feel at all ready to write anything. But I think I'll always felt that, but I really am not ready. I have to review to decide what books I'm going to write about, because I also, in my upgrade, have to say what my future chapters will be on. And obviously that can change. My ideas already have changed. I didn't think I was going to write about class and alcohol. I thought I was going to write about England and the north and south and west and the differences between country and city, but that's not what I'm going to write about now, and that's fine. Research will always evolve, and it's just an organic process, but it will only evolve if you do work and you read, so you think about the stuff you've read. So it'll be intense, but I'm actually excited. And also, you know, these are Victorian novels, and though some of them are long, I love Victorian novels, of course, and even the kissing is depressing, it's fine, and it will be a good book, and I am excited to get back into it, and actually making this video I think has helped me find that enthusiasm again. So I know that wasn't probably a very interesting video for anyone, but there you go. That's helped me at least, and I can sort of tell you where I'm at. So I'm you know, I don't want to pretend that I'm amazing. I'm not amazing, and a lot of people, when I tell them I'm doing a PhD, they're really impressed by it, and they always say, oh, I could never do that. But I think actually a lot of people, like, you are intellectually capable of doing it. It's just whether or not you have the willpower, and that is the hard part. Because if you've been to university, you are able to research a topic and write about it. It's just a lot more words, obviously, but it's essentially like the same thing that you've done, just on a bigger scale. But it's whether or not you can, like, stick at it and push yourself to do it when you don't really want to. You just want to read your own books. So I'm gonna keep going and hope that I can get there, basically. But this is the first step, is doing reading, which I'm good at. So this is the fun part. This is the easy part before we get to the writing stage and reading the critical stuff stage. So wish me luck. And I'll of course update you when it's upgrade time, and whether that's in June or September, I don't know yet, but I'm gonna try for June. But at least I've got that kind of buff if I'm not ready, or if I fail. I mean, I'm not gonna fail, I'm just gonna wait till I'm ready. So there, that's me at the moment. I hope any of you who are studying right now are doing okay and you're taking care of yourselves. I'm really bad at taking care of myself, and I'm trying to be better. The booktube community has just been so lovely and supportive and encouraging when I talk about any of this, and it's lovely, and it really helps me, so thank you for that. And yeah, take care of yourselves, everyone, and I hope you have a great day whenever you're watching this, and you read a great book. And I'll just go now. I've drunk too much gin. No, I haven't really. I'm not drunk, but this is long enough, I'm sure. Rambling true to style. Anyway, I will see you soon for Book of Shenanigans. Bye! This is such a warm blanket.